You may disagree, but up to me, it's a fact. You're paying running backs, it ain't no fun in that. Yeah, the sermon about to start, so I hope you know your stats. And if Kev get it wrong, then Rashad gon' have his back with the facts. Matter of fact, all we do is say wins. When wings, congregation say amen. Trades, debates, wins, losses, the latest news, but Prophet Kev speak, he got him saying hallelujah.
Welcome to Preach Kev, Preach with Rashad. We are the Prophet. Another episode, another sermon coming at you from Wildcard TV here on Wildcard Sports. Man, you can catch us on pretty much any platform out here. Preach Kev, Preach with Rashad podcast as we continue to build our numbers up each and every week. So we do appreciate all the fans who do listen to us. Make sure you make sure you spread the word out to your mama, grandma, and Pookie them. Make sure you don't forget the little kids too. Anybody got an iPhone, tell them to go and subscribe to this thing. Man,
I don't care if you got an iPhone, iPad, iPod, iHop, iPhone. I don't care what you got. Steve Jobs ass.
you better subscribe. Go ahead and rate and go ahead and review.
I don't care if you got a deal. What you got? You better log in.
You better log in.
Shoot.
AOL.com.
What my name is? Bezos. Better get on your Fire Stick and subscribe, doggone.
That's funny as hell. Hey, so we got a good show, man. Rashad, man. It's been a little minute. Weather was nice again, man. It didn't play no games with me this week. It was nice on the weekend. Enjoyed it, man. Had a good time. And back to the daily grind of another podcast, another episode for y'all and everybody to enjoy.
Shoot, hot part summer. Well, spring now.
Spring, summer, boy. We here. Spring, summer, spring podcast coming out, man. I want to do it's. We text each other pretty much fast after the March Madness bracket started, bro. Because like we already
terrible.
We talked about last week about the 4 teams who should go far as far as based on the top 20 in offense and defense. 3 are still there. But I'm very, very disappointed in Illinois right now. Our champion, our champion opponent. We had the runner-up. We both had Illinois in the finals, and to not make it to the second weekend when you've been one of the best teams in the league, in the nation, all year. Very, very disappointing. I'm like, what the ooh boy, I'll be wanting to cuss all day long. But it's your thoughts on March Madness, bro. It was a lot of upsets. A lot of 14, 13s, and 12s, multiple at that, making it to the rounds, and a lot of people going home. Ohio State, Purdue, Illinois, the Big Ten. The Big Ten is ours here. Like I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, Big Ten out of here. I mean, I'm enjoying it, man. Like this, it's exactly what it is. It's March Madness. It's that's the most intriguing part about it. It's not the NBA playoffs where you get a chance to play somebody 7 times and you can figure them out and all that kind of stuff. It's NFL playoffs and March Madness. It's one and done. You got to get it right that day. And these are college guys. So if you having a bad day with your girl, go out and have a bad game. It is what it is. If you just fail that test or whatever, hey, it is what it is. You got to still go out there and play that game. If your shoes ain't fitting right that day, like whatever little small inconvenience that can throw off the life of an 18 to 22-year-old. You got to get it right. You got to get your mental right, because if you out there and lose that game, man, you done. You flying back home, finish up your semester, and that's it, man. But it's fun, man. Like you get a chance to pull up your 3-4 TVs, laptop, phone, all that, watch all the games, and kind of see how it plays out. I lost 2 of my Final Fours with Illinois and Ohio State.
I lost Purdue, so
I mean, I'm not tripping though, because I mean most expert analysts were picking Gonzaga, Illinois, and that should have been the key to not pick that,
at least
because
one of them, right?
because it's never chalk. Like I think Baylor may get there because they've looked good in their game, so Baylor may end up getting there now. But it's just when you see a lot of the guys picking the same thing and they're giving all these reasons why, it never happens. I can't think of any year where we got the exact championship that was predicted.
Right.
I mean, I think one year I got one championship correct, but for the most part, you might get one one team, it's hardly ever you get both teams that you pick.
The last time I got both, remember Michigan, Louisville. That was I think who won the championship that year? I think Louisville won the championship. I think that was Tim Hardaway on Michigan, and Louisville had like the Russ Smith and the Kevin Ware. That's that whole saga. I think that was the year I got it right. But yeah, first off, sometimes you mentioned about playing. Sometimes you can do everything right. Right, you come to the game and you find out you don't play and you already advanced to the next round. So shout out to Oregon, man. Beating VCU, right? 1-0.
By default, yeah.
That's crazy, yo. That's something that I didn't think was going to happen. So like I thought that they.
I mean, it was a possibility. That's why they had like those replacement teams. But the fact it was the first round and it happened the day of, you can't do anything about that. So you really feel bad for those players because those guys, 2 years in a row, they don't get a chance to play at all in the tournament.
That's sad. In Oregon with the fresh legs, smacked Iowa. You know, I did have that in my bracket. It was very upsetting. The Colorado couldn't pull out the sweep for the Pac-12. They, I think, 9-1 or 10-1 in the tournament so far. So that's pretty impressive. I thought Oregon State run was going to be over with, and here they are in the Sweet 16. So that's another double-digit seed that went far. We got Lyle of Chicago. Sister Jean had them losing to West Virginia, who they got knocked out. So it's like, you know, how far can they go? So it is crazy. It is madness for a reason. We both lost our two of our Final Fours. So, hey, Bama, Gonzaga, please make a brother look right. Please, I beg you. Like, come on, roll tide. Come on, Zag. Like, let's get to the Final Four for me, and I'll be happy. If I get my Elite Eight that I have remaining, and Bama and Zags make the Final Four, I could care less after that. That's all I care about now. It just be a little bit right.
Yeah, I still have about 5 of my Elite Eights remaining. It's just a matter of who gets there. Like, can they get there? And of course, the last 2 Final Four teams and Gonzaga being a champion. You know, I just want to see how it plays out. I mean, you know, the brackets they're just fun. It's entertainment. You know, it's, You know, it's entertainment. It's just something to keep you interested in the game. I don't think even though betting has become way more popular in recent years, I don't think the aspect of the tournament, the interest in that will ever go down. I mean, I think it was probably like 20 million brackets. I mean, and it's like every year, like it's so much interest in it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I feel like we need to take off the first 2 days. I feel like that should be a holiday, like Super Bowl Sunday, March Madness Thursday, Friday. I know this year was kind of off centered, but usually it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I feel like Thursday, Friday should be off days. What do you think about that?
That won't happen, man. Everybody doesn't really care about basketball that much.
Or we need to have it in your workplace.
You got to throw PTO. Like, even though some workplaces do like work pools and work brackets for, you know, a gift card or bragging rights or free lunch, whatever. You know, it's not a thing that's prominent throughout everybody. Cool. You know, so I mean, you know, like I feel like the Super Bowl would have a better chance of it happening than college basketball.
Yeah, but hey, it would be fun. Anything else about March Madness, man? Did you gotta get off your chest before we move on?
No, I just want to see how the next couple of games play out, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little shameless plug. If you go to busr.com/profits, I told y'all before, man. If you go ahead and put Gonzaga to win the title, you got a chance to double your money. Obviously, if you pick anybody else, you had better odds because they were the favorite. If they gave me an option to make to like, if you can like pick, how far does this team go, or how far does this team go? Those kind of odds, like that'd be kind of crazy if they added that next year to a lot of sports bet. Like, hey, I think Gonzaga will make the Elite Eight. I think Baylor would go to the Sweet 16. Like, if you can do that kind of parlays, bro, that actually be very, very exciting, like, to do, just because like that's so hard to because obviously you probably would have had Ohio State doing something. I probably had Purdue doing something, or Illinois, and they both at home right now. So it just would adds more like excitement to a March Madness is already crazy as it is.
Yeah, they do have stuff like will a 13 seed beat a 4? You know, will a 12 beat a 5? Like they do have little small ones like that. But I mean, and that's good because you only got to get one right. You get 4 chances to get one upset, so that's not a bad one to take right there. But you know, as things evolve, there will be more and more betting options for gambling, Twitter, and everybody else.
All right, let's go move to the NBA, man. We talked about Blake Griffin when he moved to his next team. What his first play would be. It wasn't his first play, but it was pretty close. Pump fake, go around the defender, dunk. Blake Griffin, he ain't dunked in 2 years on the Pistons. Man was out here shooting 5 threes, 6 threes a night in Detroit. And now we see that he can still dunk the basketball. I thought it was pretty funny. It's like I see a lot of people tweet like, "Man, we need the NBA need to be investigative right now because of what the hell? Like how all of a sudden he ain't dunking 2 years and he doing that on? I think it was a televised game as well. So that was pretty funny to see. And it's like, man, so you had this the whole time. Like if you Detroit, you had this whole time and you just not decide to do that. That's crazy. So yeah, I know it's a little funny the topic, but what do you think about Blake Griffin, man?
I wasn't tripping off, but I mean, it was like a little rim raiser.
He got his head was still above the rim a little bit now when he went up, but he ain't do nothing crazy. Little rim raiser. You right?
Yeah, I wasn't tripping off. I mean, I knew that was gonna happen. I mean, it's bound to happen. You're gonna get way more wide open looks. He's more excited. He's rejuvenated. They rested him a little bit before he played to kind of get him familiar with some of the play calls, I guess. So I wasn't too shocked about it. You know, it was a kind of like a bang play. You up fake, guy jumps, clear lane. You know, you're still a 6'9", 230, 40-pound dude coming down the lane. So people gonna get out your way. Yeah,
and definitely don't take long. Next topic, man. Oh, what the hell? Over the past week, here go a quote. I think I'm the best defender to ever play in the NBA, and I stand by that. I put myself against anyone. Now, if I say who the best defender in the league is or all time, where does your mind go?
Definitely not the Draymond. I mean, I'm all for having the utmost confidence in yourself. Like, I'm all for that. I mean, if you're asking me to pick the best defender in the league today, like, just in general, like, no position, just who's the best, I think because of his versatility, you kind of got to go Ben. Right. And then, of course, when he's healthy, I love Anthony Davis. The dude can self-guard a pick and roll. And, I mean, there's other guys. I mean, he's not what he was maybe like 2017, 2018 when he was healthy. But, like, Kawhi can still lock down the best of them. So, I mean, I still wouldn't pick Draymond. If this was even a couple years ago, I don't think he was the undisputed best defender in the league because before breaking his leg, Paul George, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi, like there's so many guys, like Drew Holiday gives guys fits. Like there's so many guys that Marcus you can Smart. Say right there. Marcus Smart, like there are guys in the mix. Like I've never been able to say Draymond is definitively the best defender, the most versatile defender in the game. So, I mean, I think he was top 3 or 4 in defensive player a couple times. He actually won it, but it's still like I don't think he's the best guy as a defender currently, and definitely not in NBA history. When you start going through NBA history, I mean, you got to go. You got Rodman, Pip, Dream. Like there are so many guys. You got to throw Mike in there. Gary Payton. I don't care. Nobody say Gary Payton's gonna be up there. There are so many guys that you can throw in there. I mean, the Tony Allens. There's a lot of guys you can throw in there.
Tony Allen came with a clapback on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that part, but he came back with a clapback. He said, "Big Cap, who stamped you? Who you clamp?" He said, in the words of Jay-Z, "We don't believe you. You need more people."
Need more people, yeah, man.
Yeah, so and we
I mean, like Bruce Bowen, like there are so many guys in the league that was like lockdown defenders. I don't care if you're talking about hand checking or non-hand checking.
Ron Artest was up there. Like, I don't like we talk like you said. You talk now if you're talking about if you're specifically talking about one part of defense like help side, like rotation. Okay, Draymond Green could be one of the best. Like you have to be very specific of what you're talking about if you want to say Draymond the best.
Even with that, I mean, I don't think you can separate defense. Like defense is all
everything. Like, right. But
like you're like fighting over a screen, like guarding. I know everybody want to talk about this whole guarding multiple positions type of thing. I mean, to me, that's irrelevant because the league is different. Like this whole LeBron James can guard 1 through 5, Draymond can guard 1 through 5. I mean, for lack of a better word, that is complete bullshit because ain't neither one of y'all checking.
I missed
no
the beat.
doggone.
I missed the beat.
Ain't neither one of y'all checking. No Tim Duncan for real. Neither one of y'all checking Shaq for real. That's guard 1 through 5. Y'all not checking David Robinson for real.
You're not checking. You're not checking Chris Paul. You're not checking.
Like y'all.
You're not doing that.
Y'all are not checking a legit 5 or 4 for real. Like LeBron ain't guarding Kevin Garnett for real. Draymond ain't locking up Dirk for real. Like these are dudes who play in your era. Like LeBron was not locking up Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was a 5.
Can you guard Can you guard Malachi Richardson? Probably so. At the 2 guard.
like you're not locking up no true 1 through 5s. Like I don't care in this whole switching era, all that kind of. You're not locking up no true 1 through 5. Like this whole small ball thing. Like all right, when somebody actually 6-7 years playing, when Jason Tatum playing soon and close the game, you can play 1 through 5, but he's not a true 5. Like come on, man, you put Elijah Warren out there, Draymond going to the torture chamber. That's barbecue chicken, like my boy Chuck be saying. That's barbecue chicken. Come on, man.
Man, yeah,
come on, man.
You're right. That is completely false because when you say I can guard. Can you guard 1 through 5? Yes, but is it are you guarding Dame and Steph, or are you guarding what? Who's the point guard? Fucking TJ McConnell. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
like nobody for one possession you make him get a stop, but did you really get a stop because a double came? They missed a shot. Like, what are you considering a stop?
Can't check De'Aaron Fox or Colin Sexton before you talk about
what is what is an actual stop? Like that's I'm looking like this whole guard 1 through 5 thing, man. Come on. Elijah Warren, Alonzo Mourning, Mutombo, Ben Wallace, like all these big dudes, man. Dwight Howard in his prime, Kevin Garnett. Shoot, I'm trying to think of some other big guy. I mean, sitting in Moncrief, like it's so many defenders in the league. Come on, Draymond, you're not.
You tripping, bro? You tripping? And I'm trying to pull up how many
shoot, man,
defensive teams he made.
My guy from Mike Cooper. Come on, man. All these guys back in the day, man. Like even right now, like.
First team, he got 3 first team all defenses and 2 second team all defense. That's it. So and you got to think he made all NBA second team, but that's because of the Warriors, like team success, and because we got to put Draymond Green up there. Like you know what I'm saying? And we're not Draymond Green haters. Like I hope nobody sitting here thinking that we are haters because I love what Draymond Green brings to a team. Like be able to facilitate, can rebound, he can play defense, yes. But is he the greatest defender ever? No. Like that's talking about I put me up against anybody. Boy, you can't. You might not be put up against Marcus Smart. You got to win that one first. It's levels to this, and you ain't getting to the Dwight Howard. You ain't getting to Ben Wallace level. Like
man, Draymond is not finna check Joel Embiid a whole game. Come on,
hell no, no.
And I'm not knocking him. He was the 2017 Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm a Kawhi guy, but I think Draymond could have won one of Kawhi's because Kawhi did miss a couple of games.
I think Kawhi should have won one of Draymond's too, though. So I guess it kind of knocked out a little bit. But
so I mean, stuff like that can go either way. But for about a 4 year stretch, Draymond definitely was like 1 or 2. We'll say top 3 for Defensive Player of the Year.
And I think that's where you can hang your hat at, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, it's a lot of guys, man, that come to mind before I get to Draymond.
Oh yeah,
it is what it is. But like I say, is he one? Like, is he a great coach on the floor on defense? And yes, those things, yes, and he can be one of the best. Like I said, because he's good at help side, he good at rotation and stuff like that, and he knows his IQ on defense is pretty good. So yeah. But you're not the best, Draymond. So I don't know what you on this week. You on that March Madness pack and it must be good because that's a ridiculous statement. That's ridiculous.
Oh, I applaud the confidence for real though.
Oh, definitely. All right, man. This probably a little hurt for us, both of us. Man, what the hell happened this weekend, man? We was talking about how easy it was, how so far in the bag, everything we needed for LeBron James to happen. So for anybody who don't know, me and Rashad put a parlay out a while back that LaMelo win Rookie of the Year, LeBron James win MVP. The Rookie of the Year in the bag. LaMelo had that long as he finished the season 16-7-7. Hornets in the playoffs comfortably right now, and that's where that's it because Minnesota Anthony Edwards, they're one of the worst teams in the league, so you can't vote on him. Wiseman been hurt, so who else you going to vote for? And then MVP, Anthony Davis goes down to take away, because usually they don't let stars be MVPs together. KD get hurt, MB get hurt. You got James Harden with Kevin Durant potential return come back. Luka not good enough, Jokic not good enough, and Dame, they just disrespect him all the time. Everything was lined up for our parlays to hit Rashad, and then boom, LaMelo out for the season, wrist. Boom, a month or two for LeBron James high ankle sprain. Like, that's just crazy, bro. Like, that's real sad.
I mean, that's the way of the game, man. That's why it's called gambling. It's a gamble, but I still think LaMelo has enough in the bank to still pull it out. Like, I think the way he did impact wise for his team, stats wise, I think he can still, even though he'll probably, it's like 30 games left, but there's a report out that he may come back after about 3.5, 4 weeks, so he can maybe be able to finish the season. But either way, I think he can still pull it out. Halliburton hasn't started enough games, so I don't think he'll get it. So the biggest competition is going to be Anthony Edwards.
But your reward, your reward is just stats only. Yeah, stats only.
And even then, like, the points, him and LaMelo are close in points, but LaMelo has him in rebounds and assists. So if you reward Anthony Edwards, it's because he played more games. So, I mean, he'll have more highlight plays. He got some crazy dunks and stuff like that, but he's not even shooting 40% from the field. So, I mean, I'm not sure how you reward Rookie of the Year for that. So it could be similar to the thing with Zion and Ja from last year, where Zion only played a few games, and the media was saying, like, okay, based upon his impact and excitement, could he get it? But Ja still got, like, I think 98, 99 out of the 100 votes by the media. So I think LaMelo's gonna still get it.
To be fair, with the Ja Morant situation, Grizzlies was comfortably in the playoffs before COVID had hit. So it's kind of like us, you having Thunder. Now, you said Thunder and Grizzlies were going to make the playoffs last year. Obviously, the Grizzlies didn't, but at one point they both were in. COVID hit, and Grizzlies fell out. But it's like that's to me the reason why Ja Morant still won over Zion, because of the impact that he had. And you talk about impact, LaMelo has that. Now, can Edwards turn around with the new coaching hire, Finch, who came from Toronto?
Yeah, he's playing better.
He's playing way better. So if that's what you're looking for, if Minnesota can climb up the ranks a little bit, obviously not a playoff team, but
climb up the ranks. Houston lost 20 games
and straight. And still worse. I know.
The Wolves still in last place.
I mean, that's because you're missing D'Lo, you're missing Malik Beasley, so you are missing your team. But however, Rockets did too.
But look, Rockets are missing.
Rockets is everybody,
and bro. And they lost 20 straight. Like, come on, man.
That's sad, Minnesota. But hey, I'm about to say you can't even. Hey, when in doubt, man, Evan Mobley to Minnesota. Anyway, so then the only way I can say LaMelo still gets it. It's kind of bad to say this, but I feel like Hornets got to collapse to make it seem like, okay, well, without, not even collapse, but like when you look at with Melo versus without Melo stats, that's what stats I want to look at. And if the team goes down in assists, because they're top 3 in the league right now, and they go down to top 10 or bottom 15, or bottom 10 like they were last year without LaMelo, you have to give it to them. Have to.
I think he'll get it anyway. Like, MVP is the one that's gonna really be the crazy one, because Embiid is gonna miss a lot of games. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. The media might not want to do it, but they're gonna have to miss find a vote for Giannis again. Like, they might not want to do it. If you look at like the Vegas lines, like they put Jokic as the favorite, but I mean, y'all not gonna put no 5 or 6 seed up there. Luka gonna have the stats just like Jokic, but they're in the same position playoff wise. Dame is killing the game, but for some reason
they just won't give it to Dame. They don't want to give Dame nothing, bro.
I don't think he'll get the love. And then you come to the other side, my guy James Harden, but the people just gonna keep crapping on him about what he did in Houston.
Yeah,
and so
he's
kind of out of favor with the media. So I think, when you just start weighing out all the options, Curry team gonna be below 500 probably, or at least 500. They won't vote for him. So you got to either vote for Embiid, who gonna miss about 15, 20 games. LeBron, who gonna miss probably
15, 20 games.
10 to 15 games himself, maybe even up past 15.
Davis and KD out.
And so now Durant been eliminated himself. So
KD out. So,
hey, Giannis might. Hey,
Yo,
I don't think they'll want to do it.
They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it.
The only thing I can see happening is LeBron wins by default, and by default, it's like Lakers collapse. He come back, they go back up in the standings, and then it's because it's gonna be so wide open. I think the media is gonna say, "All right, forget it. We're gonna just say this year. We're gonna really say the best player in the league is still LeBron. So he win by default." That's the only thing I can see happening for LeBron to still winning. But if they take into account games missed, stats, and all that kind of stuff, playoff seeding, and all that kind of stuff, if you say Embiid and LeBron miss 20 games, Giannis. You might just only go Giannis again, 3 in a row.
Hey, they 1.5 back from the one. You gotta give it to Giannis.
Like I can see it happening again, man. Like I don't think they'll want to do it.
Yo, but you know what's crazy? They will not give it to a Jazz.
Nah, they ain't even gonna be. They won't even finish top 10 in the voting.
Mitchell is balling right now, and they don't even. That's not. Yeah, Mitchell probably. I mean, I guess he will get. I guess because you can't name 10 guys, he'll probably be 10.
He won't finish. He won't finish top 10. Like even with missed time, LeBron, Embiid,
they gonna put Chris
Giannis,
Paul and Jimmy over
Harden,
Mitchell too.
Chris Paul
and Jimmy going over him too. They going over him. Kawhi gonna get over him.
Jokic, Doncic, Kawhi, like that's like 8 guys right there.
Yeah, you're right. That's sad. And Jazz got the best.
Dame, like
the best.
Mitchell gonna probably like 10.
The best player on the best team usually sometimes always get the award and it's not even close. That's sad, yo. Nah. That's sad. But so it's gonna be very interesting, bro, to see because like you said, a 5 seed or 6 seed or even the 8 seed in Mavericks, they probably won't have no chance. So it is sad, but I feel like Giannis, man, if you say he a 3-time MVP, three-time MVP, he got to do something. Like he got to go far. Like he got to show everybody to win both in the same year. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Our second half of the show, we're gonna have a guest coming on. So y'all stay tuned for that. And we talk about some LA Rams football. All right. All right, we're here with Alexis Kraft, co-host of the Downtown Rams. Alexis, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Can't complain. She obviously the Downtown Rams, so obviously the LA Rams when it come down to it. I text Rashad over the weekend when you got the news about. I want to start here. Deshaun Jackson signing to the Rams, and I told him, I said if you told me that Deshaun Jackson is going to play 16 games in the Sean McVay offense, I told him, man, we might be in trouble. So first, give me your thoughts about Deshaun Jackson coming over.
Well, I mean, I think that you hit the nail on the head. Can he play 16 games?
Nah.
I don't want to be a downer to the rest of Rams fans, because listen, if Deshaun Jackson stay healthy, I think him and Matthew Stafford can have a really cool connection. Deshaun Jackson's a burner. But again, it's just, can he stay healthy? Can he stay on the field? I'm skeptical, and I think that people have a reason to be skeptical based on his history. So we can, obviously hoping that he can. I'm unsure how I feel about the move. Like I said, I think that there were some other guys that I preferred in free agency that we either didn't get or I don't think we're going to get now because we have Deshaun Jackson. But I think if he can stay healthy, that McVay can really find a way to use him and make him explosive. But we'll see. I have such commitment issues with him. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I need to see it to believe it.
Yeah, I think the last time he played 16 games was in 2013. He's only played 16 games twice. I think he did 15 about 2016, 2017, but for the most part he's gonna miss one at minimum and about 10 to 11 at max.
Right, and it's interesting because he's probably, in all honesty, he's probably our number 4 receiver. I mean, if you look at, we have Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and we lost Josh Reynolds, but I think that Van Jefferson is going to slide in kind of at that number 3 role for Josh Reynolds. And so my assumption is that Deshaun Jackson was brought in purely to be kind of that deep threat, vertical threat guy. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but based on his history, I would imagine that the Rams are almost looking at him as like a number 4 receiver.
At least he's cheap.
Point.
Yeah, at least he's cheap because the Brandon Cooks thing was you couldn't pay all those guys.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm glad that we didn't spend bank on Deshaun Jackson. I'll say that.
Not at this point in his career.
Yeah,
not at this point.
Deshaun Jackson, it's crazy. When you look at his stats, like he be ranking up there with like some of the best, and just because some of the yards that he can get after the catch or deep down the field. But yeah, you're right. Van Jefferson, that's actually a great point because if Deshaun Jackson plays 16 games, you're talking about probably the most explosive offense in the league because me and Rashad are – so before you leave this show, you definitely going to learn that we believe that, running backs we don't pay running backs. That's our number one rule in NFL. Like, we don't pay running backs. So, we was killing Rams about Gurley getting paid. And then you saw what happened. So I'm loving the Cam Akers, draft a running back, and then when his time is up, you draft another. So, but with the running game, bringing over Matt Stafford, who in my opinion is a top 10 quarterback, and you had those receivers, man, that's something to be scared about. Like in the NFC West, is like each and every year you're fighting for the number 1 spot because each team's getting better.
Yeah, that's what's really, honestly, the biggest challenge I think the Rams always have to overcome is just their own division, which sounds kind of like obvious, but it's true. And especially, you look at teams like the Cardinals that are really getting better this offseason. And I think that the Rams, the Rams haven't done as much as I've wanted them to do, honestly, this offseason, but I think that they believe that they're in a good spot. I think it's really going to be interesting to see how the Rams draft because I'm really not entirely sure what their goal is. But we definitely gave up years worth of first rounds for Matthew Stafford. So we don't have a first round pick this year or the next couple years. So I think it means that we have to do a pretty good job drafting in later rounds.
And I would feel very comfortable with that. I mean, just look at like the recent years with like the Sean McVay era, like they've hit on most of their draft picks. Like if you look at just what's happened recently, like all right, they drafted Cooper Kupp. I think he was a 3rd rounder. So they paid him. He's locked in. They drafted Gerald Everett, I think, in the 2nd, 3rd round. And he's not there anymore. But like you just can see like the caliber of players they were drafting. What's the guy? Yeah. John Johnson. Like a couple of guys, they drafted Josh Reynolds. So like guys are getting deals in free agency that were 2nd, 3rd, 4th round picks. So you just look at like their recent history. Samson Ibukum, like certain guys like that, they were drafting between 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, or getting deals with other teams. So it shows you like how quality of the picks they have. That they can assess a good talent because those guys are still in the league and getting deals by other teams. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, and I've forgotten at this point what it's like to have a first round pick for my team. It's been the last first round pick we had was Jared Goff in 2016, which is crazy. That's almost 5 years ago now. But you're right, the Rams have done a pretty good job capitalizing in later rounds. So I hope that we can continue to do that, and also hopefully keep Stafford a little longer than just the season.
I'm about to say it does help a lot when you draft Aaron Donald. I think that's safe to say.
Yes.
When you get the best player in football on your team. But
exactly.
So talking about the Stafford decision, were you in I guess pro getting Goff out of here, or like what was your thoughts on Jared Goff?
Yeah, I was pretty much moved on from Goff. Not this past season, but the season before that. I just felt like I could tell that things were off with him, and he never really got back to where he was after the Super Bowl. He just seemed to degress really quickly, and I think everyone kind of has like different opinions on why that was, but I think at some point it was just becoming obvious that he wasn't going to get back to that, and that you could tell McVay was really game planning around Jared Goff's weaknesses, and that he was holding back, I think, because there's a lot of things that McVay wanted to do that Jared couldn't do. And a lot of that involves, his accuracy was really starting to go, and it just started to feel really weird. And then especially this past season, he just did not play well. He looked really startled. He was missing wide open receivers. He kept holding on the ball too long. It was just really weird. And so I just felt like it was time to move on from him. Stafford was honestly not a guy that was really on my radar until it started being reported on in the media. Like, I think there was like a lot of Rams fans thought that we were going to get like Watson or like a different guy. And a lot of them thought that we were going to go with John Wolford, because John Wolford's actually, I think, one of the better backups in the league. I know we haven't seen much of him, but if you watch him play, I mean, there was a reason that McVay named him the starter in that playoff game against Seattle. And he ended up getting injured, and Jared Goff came in and thankfully was able to pull out a win. But McVay liked Wolford a lot better than he liked Jared Goff. And that's because he actually, in my opinion, I'm not sure he's a starter, but I think he's very good. But yeah, I really like Matt Stafford. I think, I was really skeptical when we made the trade about how much we gave up for him. Mostly because at the time I thought that was like a lot. To me, that was something that you give up for like a Deshaun Watson or a Russell Wilson, or something like that. I don't really put Matt Stafford up there like with those guys, and he is older. So my instinct when we made the trade, I was like, what are we doing? Why did we give up that much? Is there something that I don't know? Like, if that's what he's going for, these other quarterbacks are going to go for 5 years worth of first rounds. I was like, I don't understand. Right. But I'm excited for it. I think this is a really big prove-it year for Matthew Stafford, because he has the weapons around him. He has the coach. And to me, I feel like he really doesn't have an excuse to not be a top 5 quarterback this year. And that's just my opinion. I think if he comes in and he's in kind of the middle of the pack and just does okay, to me, that doesn't justify how much we gave up for him. So we'll see. I mean, he's got a lot of pressure on him, that's for sure.
I think the Rams are smart for what they did, because it's better to be the first mover and set the market than move second or third and then you're trying to outdo the market. So by setting the market by what they gave up for Stafford, it kind of puts other franchises in the bind. Like if Stafford I think he's like a 10, 12-year vet now. So if you're paying this for a 10, 12-year vet, it only makes the asking price for the guys like Russ and Watson, way, way higher. So I thought the Rams were smart to go ahead and be a first mover and make a deal to get a franchise quarterback. Once you're out on your guy, you kind of go ahead and make a move. So I think they made the best move. Stafford, to me been a top 10 talent in the league. It's just you're stuck in Detroit. If he's made the playoffs 3 times with Detroit with way less roster talent than the Rams have right now, you got to think he's going to be a solid guy. Numbers wise, he's put up similar numbers to Goff, but I think with a great head coach and better weapons, this should be at minimum 10 to probably a 12, 13 win team.
Yeah, I think so too, and I'm excited to see. I think McVay finally has the type of quarterback that he wants, and so I'm going to see how that affects the game plan, because I'm sure his play calling is going to change drastically with Stafford as opposed to Goff.
Yeah, he's not throwing to Calvin Johnson, but you have Cup Woods and some other burning Deshaun Jackson, and you have some some good running backs with a pretty solid defense. So they should be a top 5 to top 7 offense, a top 5 defense. So if you have that combination, that's a playoff team.
Just throw.
I agree.
Just throw the ball to Tyler Higbee because he's on my dynasty football team. Just get the ball to Higbee.
Yeah. I know Higbee is so underrated. He's
definitely
becoming one of the best tight ends, I think. And he's a really, really good weapon. And now, we don't have Gerald Everett, obviously, but we drafted a guy last year, Bryson Hopkins, who I'm excited to see take off. I think he kind of, was behind the scenes last year because you had Higbee and Everett, but I think that he's going to take it and take Everett's spot, and I think that he'll do well. So we'll see. But yeah, Higbee, I like Higbee a lot too.
All right, and I think our last question, Rashad, unless you got anything else, a big move that I saw, at least from my opinion, is I think Rashad mentioned earlier about Johnson going to the Browns, safety. So that's. I know we see the Aaron Donalds, we see the Leonard Floyds who just got signed back, and we see Jalen Ramsey, of course, but a guy like Johnson, like, do you think he'll be very missed in this secondary, or do you think y'all have, like Rashad mentioned about the draft, and that you have somebody that can come in and fill that void?
I think he'll be missed because John Johnson is a really, really underrated dynamic player. I mean, he's a really big playmaker. And I think that we'll see that in Cleveland. I think he entered a really good fit there. I think that he'll continue to do well, but I don't think he'll be missed to the point of, we have in that safety position guys like Taylor Rapp, and then rookies Terrell Burgess and Jordan Fuller. They were rookies last season. And Jordan Fuller played really, really well last season. He was actually taken way later than Terrell Burgess, who's also a rookie. But Burgess unfortunately got injured. And I think that led to Jordan Fuller playing more. And he played really, really well. So we kind of have these three guys that I think are going to kind of rotate in with each other depending on the play. But other guys that we have in our secondary, obviously Jalen Ramsey, who's very good, and then Darius Williams, who's another corner, but he's very underrated, and I think that he's going to just continue to build on the success that he had last season. So I do think that there's a void left by John Johnson for sure. I think he was in that system for 4 seasons, and he got better each and every season, and he was the play caller, I believe, one of the play callers of our defense. And however, I do have faith in the younger guys that we have, just based off what I've seen. I wouldn't be shocked though if we brought in at some point. I haven't really looked around. I do think we're either going to have to bring in another free agent safety or draft another guy, because we do have those 3 guys, but I'm pretty sure that that's it. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams made another move in the secondary, but I guess to answer your question, I think we will miss John Johnson, but I think that they'll still hold their own back there.
I mean, you have Jalen Ramsey on the outside, so that always helps. And you got Aaron Donald.
Right.
Aaron Donald up front, so when you got a combo like that, I mean, that helps a lot.
At the end of the day, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Donald on any defense is just elevates us so much. It would elevate anybody so much.
I mean, that man is dangerous.
And plus, it's LA.
Insane.
So, I mean, LA, you can always get somebody to come out there for the cheap.
Right, I know. I've been a fan since the St. Louis days, because I'm from St. Louis. That's actually where I am right now. And the amount of free agents that are more willing to go to the LA Rams than they were the STL Rams, there's quite a contrast there. So, the LA Rams, LA definitely brings in the free agents. So that is something that definitely, we have an advantage with.
Hey, I'm gonna see if I can create a sound bite real quick. This offense, can it be better than the greatest show on turf? I
don't think any offense will ever be better than the greatest show on turf.
Try to get her.
I think that puts me in a tough spot, because I'm so biased against it. Like I grew up going to those games. And I might be wrong, but I think statistically the greatest show on turf is still the highest scoring offense, I think.
I say maybe Atlanta took that when they went to the Super Bowl. That's possible, but I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, I believe that statistically the 1999 Rams are still the highest scoring offense. But I don't know. If everything works the way that Sean McVay wants it to work this season, they could. I mean, I think that's what he's going for, just knowing Sean McVay and what he likes to call. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised I think Matt Stafford will for sure throw for 5,000 yards. It's something I've been saying. I don't think that'll be, just knowing Sean McVay and what he wants to do, I don't think that'll be difficult for him.
It's kind of hard to top the greatest show on turf offense, because, I mean, for like 2 years, they produced 2 MVPs, Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk. So it's hard to outdo that kind of dominance.
That's Stafford MVP money line odds real quick and see if I can get that.
Yeah.
I don't know about MVP. He don't really have the storyline to get there.
Kurt Warner, and he's I think that 1999 season, I mean, they were pretty good. The greatest show on turf was pretty good for like 2 or 3 years, but that one season, I just don't know how that gets topped. It will eventually. Everything always is eventually.
Right.
And it would be nice if it was another Rams team that did it. I'll say that. For me personally,
that would be cool. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
So you can find me on Twitter at the Alexis Kraft. That's Kraft with a K. I'm always on there talking football. And a lot of other stuff too, but specifically football and engaging with people about that. I usually do a lot of mock drafts, although right now I'm trying to take a break because there's all these free agency moves and then it messes up my predictions and everything.
Right.
But yeah, you can find me there. And then my podcast is Downtown Rams, which is on every platform that you can listen to podcasts on.
Before you go, one serious question for you.
Yeah.
All right, we have the whole Deshaun Watson thing going on. I think it's like up to 16 women have filed complaints against him. What is your take on like that? Like, are you more on like where there's smoke, there's fire? Do you think it's the defamation of character thing going on? Like, where do you fall on that?
I'm always typically of the mindset to kind of believe victims, but I do agree that the timing is very, very strange to me. I think that, you know, the timing of it seems weird to me. If it wasn't for what's going on with him in Houston and the battle that they've been in, my whole instinct would be to believe everything that is being said. However, I just think the timing is weird. So I honestly can't say. I haven't like looked into every detail super, super finely. I've been reading the articles that have come out. I mean, I'll say either way, the situation is absolutely horrible. If all these women are telling the truth and it did happen, I mean, that's unexcusable. But if it is a defamation of character, assassination of character attempt, that's also inexcusable. So I really hope that the truth comes out. I think it will come out either way. I think if anything right now, it's just they got to get to the facts. I just want to see the facts. But either way, I just think it's so bad. Just whatever's happening, and I don't know. But yeah, I would say typically in things like this, my instinct is to believe the women. But I've been watching the situation unfold with him and the Texans like everyone else. So. I do think it's strange. Something to me isn't adding up. So neither thing will surprise me. I never took him. It sounds so cliche. I never took him to be, he always was one of my favorite quarterbacks. I always felt like he was really respectable and carried himself with pride and everything. So it was very surprising when this came out, but it also kind of always is. So I don't know I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts though about it.
I'm right there with you. When these kind of things come out, you have to take accusations serious, turn over every stone, ask all the necessary questions in regards to the women's side of it, of course, his side of it, because there's always two sides and things like that. But of course, you want to boil it down to the truth. So hopefully, everything does play out in its proper time and space, and whether it goes to court or whatever happens with it. But hopefully, it does all get resolved. And if this did happen, I hope those women get the justice they deserve. And if he's innocent, I hope the people who are falsely accusing him are punished as well. I mean, I think if this turns out to be true, whether it's all 16 or just one or two, you're looking at probably the biggest NFL scandal this side of the Michael Vick incident. And if this is something that the Texans are doing to ruin his name, we might have a 31-team lead, because I think they'll have to shut their organization down, because who would want to play for them if you're going to defame his character like that in that fashion? So
totally.
So I'm not sure. We may go at the 31 teams, because there's no way you can let that organization do that to him, because you're basically playing his life if this is false, because he could really go do serious jail time behind something like that. So, and of course, once your name is dirty, you can't get your clean name back. Like, you'll always be the whispers of, did they pay and cover it up, or things like that. So either way this goes, it's going to be a tough road for organization of the Texans, Deshaun Watson, and of course the women, the alleged victims at this time.
Yeah, it's really just a lose-lose at this point. Whatever happens, it's really unfortunate. And I mean, I honestly, I think it's so tough. And I don't want to discredit the woman or him yet.
I
just hope that the truth comes out, and it usually always does. I hope it's sooner than later because we'd all like to see this and justice served to whoever's the one needing it. So yeah, it's just this whole thing is insane. I mean, just been unbelievable to me, honestly.
Yeah, and for the player, you just hope that we're not out here cheering for a monster at the end of the day. So I like to let things play out, get more information out there before I want to like harp on it. So it's like you said, it's going to be a lose regardless because, like Rashad said, a team that's kind of like all of a sudden putting defamation to his character. Then you got a guy who we thought is beloved and all that kind of stuff, and now we see that we might have a monster on our hands. So it's no winning in this situation. I do agree with you that it doesn't add up. Something like 2 + 2 don't always equal 4 apparently. So that's kind of it's kind of how I'm looking at it, and so we'll see because I think it was like 2, then 4, then all of a sudden 10, then now it was 20, and the number kept rising. So we're going to see probably next few weeks, and obviously he won't get traded no time soon because who would want to risk multiple draft picks like the Rams did for Stafford if he might not even play. So
right, exactly. Yeah, it's just I just hope they get to the bottom of it soon. Whatever the truth is, whatever that outcome is, I just think that hopefully it's revealed soon.
Right.
Before whenever.
All right, and that's our time for today. We thank Alexis for joining us today. So tune in next week on Wildcard TV. Make sure y'all follow us. Appreciate Rashad podcast. We out.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. You guys have a good one.
Enjoy your family in St. Louis.
I will. Thank you.